Hello everyone, welcome to Bioruminates, and today we have come up with another topic from the plus one biology, that is biomolecules. Biomolecules are the essence of life, and with this topic you will be introduced to new field of biology, that is biochemistry. Biochemistry is a field which draws thin line between the biological and the chemical processes. So let us start with the topic. Now, before going into crux of the topic, we must know what broadly biomolecules are. Biomolecules cover all the molecules or ions that are formed within a living cell, which means that biomolecules को living cell खुद से synthesize करेगा, and these are important for proper functioning of the cell, which means that these biomolecules are very essential for normal metabolic processes of a cell. Now, question arises to know about the biomolecules in the living system, where we should look towards. The answer is we should look inside the cellular pool, because cell आपका smallest unit of life है. तो life या living system में कौन से biomolecules present हैं, इस चीज़ को analyze करने के लिए आपको cellular pool को analyze करना important है. And it is known that a living cell has approximately 5000 different type of chemicals present in it, which means that अगर आप cellular pool को break करके analyze करोगे कि कितने different chemicals present हैं, तो it is estimated that 5000 different sort of chemicals are present in the cellular pool. The next question we must ask ourselves is, what is the source of these diverse panel of biomolecules which are present in a living system? And answer lies in the earth crust, which means that all of the biomolecules which are present in a living system are acquired from the earth crust. Now, what is the proof that we have attained these biomolecules from the earth crust? The first proof lies in the experimental or elemental analysis of the samples. So it says that if we take a sample from any of the living tissue, say it an animal, a plant or a microbe, and if we take sample from the earth crust, then due to the elemental analysis we will get similar list of the elements, but their concentration can vary, and how it varies that we will learn in the upcoming slides. Now, this first proof says that elements are same in the living tissue and in the earth crust. So what is the difference which makes a living tissue a living component, whereas your earth crust is a non-living component? The difference lies in the orchestrated and organized manner of these elements, which is present only in the living tissue, that is essential to perform all the metabolic and living processes. Whereas if you see a earth crust, then these elements are present randomly, so they are not able to perform any living process. Now, what is the second proof that we have acquired these elements from the earth crust? The answer lies in the course of evolution. अगर आप evolution को समझोगे तो you will let to know that the first living cell which was formed in the earth was formed by the aggregation of non-living elements. So abiogenesis was the process जिसमें orchestrated way में आपके elements organize हुए, और organize होने के बाद उन्होंने एक living component को form किया. So ये दोनों proof हमें ये define करते हैं कि whatever is present in the living system is acquired from the earth crust. So as we have described previously, present slides give in comparison of elements present in living and non-living matter, and on the basis of its concentration by weight, we can divide these elements into two categories, one which are abundant in the earth crust and other which are abundant in the human body. So you can see from this figure that first 5 elements are present in higher concentration in case of the humans, which include hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur in comparison to the earth crust, whereas the element sodium, calcium, magnesium and silicon are present in higher concentration in case of the earth crust, and they are present in quite less quantity in case of the human body. Now let us look towards different type of biomolecules which are present in the living system. They can be broadly classified into organic and inorganic form. With organic, I mean to say that these are the compounds which contain carbon and hydrogen bonds in them. Example are the macromolecules and the micromolecules. Macromolecules का example है protein. Micromolecules include amino acid, and we will discuss about these macro and micromolecules in detail in the upcoming slides. Now Second category is the inorganic molecules. These are the molecules which are present in the biological system but they lack carbon and hydrogen bond. They are basically carbon, hydrogen and oxygen when they are present individually, or they includes ions such as chloride ions, sodium, potassium and calcium ions which are present in the living system or the cells and important to maintain different metabolic processes and ionic balance of the cell. After knowing about types of biomolecule, we should know how we can analyze these organic compounds which are present in the living system. For this, you have to take a fresh living tissue which can be taken from any source, say plant or animal. Then this tissue is mixed with acid, say trichloroacetic acid is used in this case. Then a slurry of this mixture is made by using the mortar pestle, and after slurry is formed, the slurry is filtered using the cheesecloth or the cotton. Then you will have two different fraction. One will represent the filtrate and other will represent the retinate. Filtrate basically contain acid soluble pool, that is your micromolecules, whereas retinate contain acid insoluble pool, that is your macromolecule. Now you should know why micromolecules enter the filtrate. Because माइक्रोमोलिक्यूल स्मॉल साइज़ के होते हैं, इसलिए वो कॉटन या चीज़ क्लोथ के पोर्स से पास ऑन होके आपको फिल्ट्रेट में मिलते हैं, जबकि मैक्रोमोलिक्यूल्स आर बिगर इन देयर मॉलिक्यूलर साइज, जिसकी वजह से वो रिटेन रह जाते हैं और चीज़ क्लोथ को पास नहीं करते. दैट इज़ वाई दे फॉर्म द फ्रैक्शन ऑफ रेटिनेट. The inorganic compounds constitutes very minute component of a living tissue, and analysis of the inorganic compound includes a very destructive technique. In this technique, a wet living tissue is taken, its weight is noted down, then that tissue is dried completely by using a hot air oven so that all the water which is present in the tissue evaporates. Then its dry weight is taken and that tissue is burnt so that all the carbon present in that tissue oxidizes. Then we will remain with the ash. That ash will only contain the inorganic compounds, and such inorganic compounds basically includes calcium, magnesium, etc. But with this, I just want you to tell that there is no thin line or no boundaries, specific boundaries in case of the biology. With this, I mean to say that some of the inorganic compounds will be obtained from the ash, but some of the inorganic compounds will always be retained in the soluble and insoluble organic fraction. The reason behind this is, जब भी आप किसी मैक्रो या माइक्रो मॉलिक्यूल को देखोगे तो आपको समझ आएगा कि बहुत सारे इनऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स वहाँ पे इनकॉर्पोरेटेड हैं टू गिव देम स्पेशल फंक्शन. Along with it, you should know that this analysis and extraction of different kind of biomolecule is a very complex process, and different sort of techniques exist for extraction of any particular kind of organic and inorganic compound. But those topics are out of scope from the present study, and you will learn all of them in the higher classes. So with this, we are done with the introductory part of the biomolecules and biochemistry. In the next lecture, I will come up with the topic in which we will classify the biomolecules from a biologist point of view. So I suggest all of you to stay connected, subscribe, like and share this channel BioRuminates, and thank you so much for your attention.